Welcome back to Loki. I really liked the first episode. I thought it was a little slow, but it had a lot of promise. It was very unique. Really enjoyed it. And I'm excited to see what happens now. What is... Oh, it's like a Renaissance festival? That's cool. I used to rag on like Renaissance festivals so much when I was younger, but especially after everything with COVID, this looks like a lot of fun. They're definitely giving her a lot of focus, so she must be at least somewhat important.
Hi. Some of us need this, you know.
Them being dressed like that doesn't affect you. Like, mind your own business. Enjoy yourself. The Princess of Evil, that's a very obvious Loki reference. Oh. So she's got mind control powers just like Scarlet Witch. Cool. Like, I understand the subject material is kind of fucked up. You know, she's basically helping to kill her own men, but my Shrek nostalgia is going off the charts right now with this song. I'm digging it. Is there a time limit to how long she's able to control someone, or did she intentionally release her right there? He's strong and he's gotta be lasting. She's taking her captive. Why? Cool intro. The music in this show is so good, dude. If I had like a favorite quality about the show, so far it's the music. He's such a dick.
No, the lesser kind, to be clear.
Sure.
Capturing a murderer.
No, a cosmic mistake.
And I kind of get the feeling you're all in the same boat as him, so I wouldn't be getting on that high horse if I were you.
Duplication casting.
Excuse me?
Illusion projection involves depicting a detailed image from outside oneself, whereas duplication casting entails recreating an exact facsimile of one's own body.
That is a pretty distinct difference, though. I'll give him that.
We haven't been able to find him, so let's bring in an expert.
I mean, that's smart of him to stroke his ego a little bit.
An audience with the timekeepers is on the table.
Keep that focus.
I highly doubt it's on the table, but they know that's what you want.
Why don't we just travel back to before the attack?
Changing and growing, so you gotta show up in real time.
It seems like a really convenient excuse.
Or he pruned her.
We all know it's not a he. You can stop trying to trick me.
I see a scheme, and in that scheme, I see myself.
Oh my gosh, will you just say what you see? You don't have to be
have a
so
saying.
Shakespearean.
It's a trap. He's waiting for you outside his tent.
Should I secure the reset charges?
No, he wants me. I'm the key to his plan. He knows that I'm strong.
That sounds like bullshit. I was with him all the way up until he said that.
Speak to the timekeepers at once.
There it is. Like, come on, man. You just got here. Give it a little more time before you really try to push it.
My ears are sharp, too.
Okay. I'm liking Mobius more and more as the show continues. Oh, yeah. Are we gonna... Okay, there we go. Oh. But how do the machines and how do they know exactly what's not supposed to be there? It just sounds like such bullshit. Like, there's got to be an angle here. You keep showing me that particular timekeeper that looks like Kang. What's the deal?
Is it just those rings are already there?
And they're all from you. He is an evil, lying scourge.
Get tired of playing the same part.
Yeah, come on. You guys have seen his future, and you know that by Ragnarok, he is starting to kind of come
It
around.
shall be so.
And then he dies.
And how are the old timekeepers?
How do you think?
I don't know, because I've never met them, thankfully. Although I shouldn't say that. That one looks like he's
So
got
many of them
Timekeepers
have
are
never met
monitoring
them.
every aspect of this case. I've never seen them so involved. They want that variant caught.
So do
Are they? I don't even know if
And
they're
this is the
real,
last
man.
chance you're gonna
Now
get.
I'm stuck with this guy who won't stop yakking away about what
Well,
makes
you
the
knew
Loki
full
team.
well that
Wait,
he likes to
that's
talk.
why I'm here.
No, and you kind of feel bad for that ice runt.
Aw, that's
I just
actually
wanna
kind of
catch this
sad.
guy and I'll tell you whatever
He
I
actually
need to
feels
tell
bad
you.
for him. Like, there's no way the second option was what he believes. Like, he feels bad for Loki. He wants to help him.
Good.
I've never been to this hotel in Atlanta, but I've seen it in so many movies.
Good trick for you. Pretend your life depends on it. I'm gonna get a snack.
Not so subtle way of saying your life does depend on it. Really? Oh, that was in the outro.
I'd like all files pertaining to the creation of the TVA, please.
That's smart.
Those are classified.
Of course.
I'd like all files pertaining to the beginning of time, then.
Those
Also
are
smart,
classified.
and
the end
of
of
course.
Those are classified.
Okay, what files
course.
can I have?
I like all the references to Thor Ragnarok. Not only because I love that movie, but again, just to see, all the continuity in the MCU. It's very neat. He's such a good actor. Like, just that right there. Just, like, the tears welling up in his eyes, but he doesn't actually, cry it out. Like, that's very good, subtle acting. What, did you figure something out? How could you have possibly figured something out from that?
Set fire to the palace.
No, just stop.
He's
Don't
like,
set
please,
fire to
my
the palace.
my
I
salad.
can do. You. Nice to see you. Nice to see you for a second. There it is.
What am I looking at?
I kind of get what he's saying though.
See what I mean?
It does make sense.
It doesn't matter. And do whatever he wants, and we wouldn't know.
That's really smart. Never would have thought of that.
Take me to a real apocalypse.
Oh, okay. So this is, I know where this is going because I've seen that moment in the trailer of the volcano going off.
Very small disturbances.
Very small.
Man, screw that. Just go all out.
We are from the future, right? What is the TVA? I mean, it's from the future. It sounds from the future. It's pretty futury.
It's pretty futury. Should probably get moving.
Because they're awesome.
Suppose they are.
Yeah. You know,
mean,
some
jet
things,
skis are
actually most
fun.
things in Creative Branch for sure.
It'll be fun, though.
Yeah. It'd be really fun.
Oh, I hope he gets to ride a jet ski
why
before
read
the
about it?
series is over.
And it's real because I believe it's real.
There is definitely some merit to that.
Fair enough.
Log from its infinite branches.
Again, you're
finished.
really
What happens then?
delving into bullshit-sounding territory.
Nexus events.
But no one bad is ever truly bad. And no one good is ever truly good.
Yep. You're definitely right about that.
Grapes, nuts.
I wonder you're so better.
From the variant who just blew your previous mission.
Yeah, he's doing great.
Yeah, he's doing a real
As your
good job.
friend, I have to tell you that there's not much I can do if it doesn't work out.
For all time.
That's very ominous.
Absolutely not.
Just like you are crazy.
Gather round.
Dude, this music is so good. This is also kind of a neat idea, like a future apocalypse that we've never seen before.
The hell was that?
So I don't announce myself with every squeaky footstep like the rest of you.
Yeah, come on, makes sense.
You can trust me.
That is so not true.
Earn that.
Oh well, you all got found out very fast. That music cue right there reminds me of Stranger Things quite a bit, and in a very good way.
Hurricane sale. Azaleas are half off.
Do people actually do that? That seems insane. Yeah, you never know. Just be careful. Oh, you are not careful enough. It's kind of an interesting way to meet the variant Loki. Don't actually get to see her. It's just, through other people. And I'm saying her because there's no way it's not Lady Loki. Yeah, well, do you have to be a dick to the people that are about to die?
They're about to die.
Exactly, asshole. Okay, guess we're just gonna be body hopping for a little bit. Oh, look at that. He actually cares about her.
Scared to meet me face to face?
You know that trick's not gonna work.
God, now I understand why Thor found this so annoying. Listen, enough with your games. I've been trying
I gave it away.
What is real? What do you keep
I
saying
gave
is
it
real?
away.
What did you give away?
The timekeepers, where they are.
It looks like she's able to imbibe other people's super strength as well.
I would never treat me like this.
That's actually a good point. I don't think he would treat another Loki like this. Kind of getting your ass kicked here, Loki. Or should I be rooting for the other Loki? Ah, yes, come on. Give me the reveal. I think this should have been in the first episode, but if you give it to me now, I'll forgive it. Come on. Oh.
This isn't about you.
Right.
She does not like anything like Lady Loki from the comics. Well, it looks like you guys failed. Oh, that's really smart, and that's super fucked up, because there's nothing they can do about it now. Well, if the world wasn't chaos before, it sure is now. Bye. Loki, do you want to go after her, maybe? The portal's still open, go. Nah, sorry, man. Go after her, please. Please go after her. Yes! Oh, that was the ending? Okay. That was really good. I like that more than the first one, actually. Well, as I just said, I think this episode was actually a little better than the first one. It was very, very good. I still think it's a little too slow because the big reveal of this episode was, I guess, a two-parter. One part, the reveal that it's Lady Loki, which, duh. If you didn't know about the casting leak with that on-set picture of her around there, I feel like it would have been really obvious with the fact that literally everyone's like, he. Like, normally you wouldn't think twice about it, but they clearly said that particular pronoun more than with like any other character they ever have. So that reveal was kind of an obvious one, which is again why I think they should have done that in the first episode. I think saving that for this one, didn't quite work. Like, it was still neat to see her, but I'm also like, she doesn't look like Lady Loki. She doesn't look like Loki at all. Not only does her face not look like, Tom Hiddleston, but she has blonde hair, which none of the Lady Lokis ever have. They all have jet black hair, just like the male version of Loki. The horns, they look really familiar. I don't know exactly what it's from, but I get the feeling that is definitely based off of something. And the outfit looked good. Like, it looked like a variation of, Loki's classic green and gold. I just can't get over the fact that she was blonde and didn't look like Loki. And she didn't have a British accent, which, I don't know, I guess you could say is just part of the fact that she's a variant. This one doesn't happen to talk like that. But I don't know. It's once again reaching a point where I'm like, things aren't quite adding up here. Like, if that is Lady Loki, I'd be willing to accept it and buy it. But I'm also like, is it really her though? They had that moment where Loki was like, I would never treat me like this. And I think that might be true. I get the feeling if two Lokis were to come across each other, they would be, smarmy and try to fool the other one as much as they could, but I don't think they would be cruel the way that she was to our Loki. But hey, maybe it's just a variation of Loki that's just even more of a dick than usual. I don't know. But anyways, the second part of the big reveal of this episode was the kablooey of the entire timeline, which, looking back on the first episode, it makes perfect sense. Why else would she be collecting all these reset charges and, trying to steal their technology and take as many of them out as she can? She wants to throw the timeline into chaos. But why does she want to do that? That is the new mystery moving forward. And did she just open up the multiverse? Like, was that the explosion of the multiverse right before our very eyes? Because if it wasn't terrible, but I feel like it's a little underwhelming, if that's what it really was. But who knows, maybe the end of this series is going to be the explosion of the multiverse, or maybe that's not even going to happen until the Spider-Man movie. The buildup of this episode was, I think, a little too slow. Like the first episode, the pacing suffers just a little bit because, well, it's interesting. Loki is a fun character to watch because he likes to talk so much. And he's also kind of not a fun character to watch because he likes to talk so much. Like, hearing him quip back and forth with a certain character who can really dish it back, that's really fun to watch. Him intentionally just trying to waste time, not quite as much. Like, it's still entertaining knowing, like, oh, he's just making up a bunch of bullshit to literally waste their time. But considering how many questions we all have over the mystery of this whole show, I wish they would be a little bit more snappy with certain things. Like, even his explanation of why going into an apocalyptic event wouldn't, create any variant energy. I feel like they could have trimmed that conversation down a considerable amount and just shown us what happens in Pompeii, and we would have got the same effect. That all being said, I feel like the dialogue of the show is actually written really well. And even though these characters are, like, insane, like, they make no sense from a truly logical standpoint, they all speak like real people do, and that's something I think a lot of people take for granted in really good screenwriting. No one really thinks like, oh, it's so hard to write for a character. But it is so hard to write a character and make them seem real. And I feel like this show does a very good job taking these very outlandish characters and making them seem pretty real and relatable. I still think it's a little too slow though. I wish they would just pick up the pace just a little bit. I still don't know if I should fully trust Mobius or not, because this whole episode is really trying to convince you like, hey, he's a really nice guy. He feels bad for Loki. He wants him to have a place in this world where a variant shouldn't have any kind of place. But it's also the fact that they're really pushing it, that he's a nice guy, that makes me question it all. I think my little heart would break if I knew that lovely Mobius Owen Wilson wasn't a good guy, but I don't know, there's almost nothing about the TVA that I truly believe at this point. I really love the moment when Loki discovered the destruction of Asgard, because again, with Tom Hiddleston's acting, he does very little to show a lot of how deeply that affects him, even though later he immediately is like, oh yeah, it's so sad, whatever. And he plays it off like a joke, but we saw his original reaction. We know that that was deeply sad for him. Everything going on at Rocksmart was really good. It was definitely a very solid climax of the episode. I'm always a fan of when they have to split characters up and you're just cutting back and forth to them while a literal timer is going. It just is a perfect recipe for great tension, and even though I would argue it wasn't like the most tense scene I've ever watched, it was really good. It was very engaging. It was by far the most exciting moment of the entire episode. And even though I'm not thrilled about the actual reveal of Lady Loki, seeing her bounce between bodies was a really cool way to introduce the character. Cinematography in this episode was very good. There was one shot I did not like. I thought it was not very good. It was just a quick moment where it pans from Loki to Mobius and then like pans a different direction before it cuts to another scene. It just felt a little amateur compared to the rest of the cinematography, which I think is phenomenal. Music, again, best part of the whole show so far for me. I really enjoyed the music of the whole show. It's a very cool mixture of a couple different genres of music all melded into one, which very much suits what the TVA is. Acting wise, I really want to give it to Owen Wilson because I am very much enjoying his performance, but I can't not give it to Tom Hiddleston. Every episode, or I guess for the 2 episodes so far, he's really stolen the show for me during 2 particular scenes. And it's the moments when you get a very vulnerable side to Loki that he doesn't want to show to other people. Like, one might argue that it's a little repetitive, but every time it happens, I'm very impressed with Tom Hiddleston's performance, so I once again have to give it to him. Editing and pacing, already discussed it. I think it's too slow paced. This episode felt like it was picking it up just a little bit more, but even still, there does seem to be a lot of moments that feel like they're wasting time. And I get that that is kind of the point, but I don't know, it's not fun to watch a show that's wasting your time. Don't get me wrong, I'm having a lot of fun watching this show, but the scenes where it's kind of wasting time, those are the moments where I tune out a little bit. But overall, I'm still gonna give this episode an 8.5 out of 10. I thought it was very good. If it could just fix the pacing a little bit for me, and if the Lady Loki reveal wasn't as underwhelming as it was, this would have been a high 9 for its score. But as it stands, I'm still waiting for that big moment to really wow me on this show. And I'm sure it'll happen. But as of yet, it's moving pretty slowly. The next episode should be very interesting, considering Loki is now no longer with the TVA. He's chasing after Lady Loki through who knows what time and who knows what place. And in that regard, I think the show did not go too slow in terms of its pacing. I think they could have easily spent the first 4 to 5 episodes following Loki just in the TVA. And then during the last 1 or 2 episodes, it's about him, branching off and doing his own thing and hopefully learning a valuable lesson. So I like that they kind of sped up to that point. And it was also very in character. Like, if Loki didn't jump through that portal, I would have called so much bullshit, because he's the god of mischief. There's no way he wouldn't take up the opportunity to follow himself to wherever they're going. So this next episode should be very interesting, and I will see you all there. So that's about it.